In this video, I will explain the traditional party attire for university students in Finland, or student overalls. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we are meeting, my name is Oliver and I'm a master's student in economics at Aalto University in Finland. And on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing. Before we jump into today's topic, let me thank hoas for sponsoring this video. hoas, or the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, is one of the largest providers of student accommodation in the Helsinki metropolitan area. I've been living in their apartments throughout my studies and I really recommend that you guys apply for theirs as well. Links to apply in the description box below. So what is going on with all these overalls that you see in pictures and videos from Finnish universities? In this video, I will explain what student overalls actually are, who wears them, and what kind of traditions are associated with them. So let's start with a super quick summary of the history behind the overalls. So it is most commonly believed that the use of overalls as a student garment originated in Sweden in the 1970s, although I have to mention that some sources in Finnish academia circles believe that overalls actually originated in Finland, as there are some indications that Finnish engineering students wore some sort of overalls already around the 50s and 60s. However, this is still a topic that is hotly debated and no one has been able to definitely prove who the first people behind the overalls are. However, the use of overalls as they are today became more common in Finland in the 1980s. The spread of overalls in Finland has mostly been credited to engineering students, especially from the Otaniemi campus in Espoo, but nowadays almost every university faculty or guild has their own overalls. While first being identified as attires for only university students, the use of overalls has also spread to other schools like universities of applied sciences, as well as the National Defense University of Finland. So the simplest way to explain what student overalls actually are is that they are the official party attire of students in Finland. These are an excellent costume to wear in parties both inside and outside, because they protect whatever clothing you have underneath them. And it doesn't matter that the overalls get dirty over time. I'll talk a bit more about this in just a second, but dirty and worn out overalls are more of a badge of honor that shows other people that you are an experienced party goer, and that is why you should not be worried about getting your overalls dirty. In addition, overalls are a great way to recognize other fellow students, and they are a sign of community and in the best of times brings people together no matter what their background is. I think it is also fair to say that overalls have a democratizing effect on student parties. While participating in events, everyone is wearing their overalls and there is no need to make too much fuss about dressing up fancy because, well, why would you want to when you're wearing your overalls? This means that everyone can just focus on having a great time and you don't have to worry about people judging you for what you wear. This is a great way to bring people together from all walks of life, and for example, asking about other people's overalls can actually work as a great icebreaker. Alright, next let's talk a bit about the different colors and insignias that student overalls present. So the basic idea is that the color of the overalls represents the specific faculty or guild that that particular student belongs to. While most universities have multiple different overalls representing their different faculties, there are also some individual universities that have just a singular color for all students. So most overalls are a single color like this one, but there are also some exceptions to the rule, one of the most prominent being the Guild of Industrial Engineering and Management at Aalto University called Prodeco. Their base of color is white, but with the addition of rainbow stripes in different sections of the overalls. So the history of the color schemes that each faculty and guild has adopted is not clear, and it is said that many of them have simply been chosen by the personal preferences of the first person to order overalls to his or her organization. However, some student organizations do have a more clear meaning and history behind their chosen colors. For example, the original overalls for the Aalto business students in the 1980s was white, but it was quickly changed to dollar green, which was seen as more apt choice for business students. Actually, as a fun, although an unfortunate fact, these overalls that I have are both the wrong color and the wrong material, as the order for our class of 2012 was somehow accidentally mixed. As you might guess, the number of primary colors doesn't really last that long, and it didn't take long until all the good color variations were taken. This is also why some organizations sport the same color schemes as others. This is why student overalls also have the insignia of each faculty or student organization they present printed in the back. This, with the combination of the color and the specific sponsors that each overalls have, should make it possible to identify the university and faculty of any student wearing his or her overalls. So at this point, you have of course noticed that people's overalls are full of different looking badges and other type of items. So collecting badges and sewing them into your overalls is a great way to show your experience and commitment to different student activities and clubs. These badges are often sold at different student parties, pub crawls and other events, or given out by clubs or other organizations for their active members for free, or alternatively sold for some extra cash in order to finance their own events. So during your studies, you will see that the amount of badges in people's overalls vary heavily, as some are more active in collecting them than others. However, there is no wrong or right amount of badges to collect, as some people are not that into partying or volunteer work. Rather, I think collecting badges is simply a great way to keep personal note of all the great times we've had during our studies, and I simply want to remember all the events I've attended. In addition to badges, you can also see people collecting other items to their overalls. These can include items like fluffy animals, pins, or other items that tell about you as a person. Then there are of course the more practical necessities that everyone should carry in their overalls. These include things like cheap sunglasses that you don't really have to worry about losing. You have bottle openers that are attached to a self-retracting leash, and very importantly, a hard plastic glass so that you are never caught off guard when someone wants to offer you a drink. Alright, so let's talk a bit about traditions related to overalls. There are a ton of different traditions and rituals related to overalls, starting from how to earn them during the first year of your studies, to how to wear them properly, and all the way to how to properly dispose of old overalls. Many of these traditions vary between cities and different student organizations, and people seem to never really agree on all of them. However, there are a few that have been recognized as somewhat universal. First, I think it's safe to say that the most universally recognized rule that everyone agrees on is that one should never wash one's overalls. It is the purpose of the overalls to show the passing of time and all the great adventures that the overalls have seen over the years. This means that all the dirt and spots of red wine that have been accidentally spilled on you during late night pub crawls is all part of your student experience, and you should not try to wash that away. However, it is also recognized that in the case that you absolutely have to wash your overalls, there are two accepted ways to do it. One, by going for a swim, and two, by taking a shower. However, in both cases, you of course have to be wearing the overalls while doing it. The second tradition is not to cover the student organization insignia in the back. The insignia is how other people recognize your place of study, and you should never cover it in any way. Another similar rule is not to cover or destroy any of the sponsor logos that may have been printed on your overalls. So many student organizations have a lot of corporate partners sponsoring the overalls, basically paying hefty sums to be there for the entirety of your studies, and you should show them some respect by keeping their logos visible. So when you sew your badges, you should always start with the empty space first. The third tradition is about combining parts of different overalls. These rules are somewhat debated, but the two most common rules are: one, if your spouse studies at another university, you are allowed to exchange the leg parts of your overalls with him or her. And second, if you yourself study or have studied in multiple universities, you are allowed to combine your own overalls into one. So the fourth tradition is a hotly debated one, but still worthy of mentioning. In Finland, it is more traditional that only engineering students wear their overalls as full suits, while non-engineers should wear them as pants, tying the arms of the suit as a belt. So the fifth rule is about proper disposal of one's student overalls. It is commonly agreed that throwing one's overalls into garbage is not the way to go. Actually, many people never even want to throw their overalls away, but rather want to hold on to them even after graduation. However, if you are not one of these people, the one accepted way of disposing one's overalls is by burning them. As mentioned before, there are a myriad of other rules and traditions that vary between different student organizations, and I really encourage you to learn more about them after you have been granted your overalls during your first year of studies. Do also note that most student organizations grant overalls also to exchange students, so you are going to get the same experience even if you are in Finland only for one semester. Alright, that is all for this video. I know that this was a bit of an information dump on a peculiar topic like student overalls, but I really want to emphasize that things like this are an essential part of the student culture in Finland, and I really encourage you guys to learn more about it in order to get everything out of your student experience. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might also be interested in the topic. Also, if you have anything to ask about this or any other topic related to studying in Finland, write them down in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.